Let us now code this button that requires us to input 5 numbers and to find the sum of those 5 numbers. So we go into the coding for that button, and we need to input 5 numbers. Therefore, I need a loop that's going to repeat 5 times. So I will now set up my loop to execute from 1 to 5, do begin. There we are. I now have my loop. I'll declare the variable. I is of type integer. And I've got this loop running 5 times. I need 5 numbers. In this instance, I'm going to use an input dialog box to get my 5 numbers. So let's declare a variable num, which I'm going to use to store the number. So I'm going to use an input box, but remember that an input box returns a string value. So we need to have a string to int conversion. And then we need to call the input box. So there it is. I bring up my input box, and there's a bracket missing there and a semicolon. Let me go back into the input box. The input box has 3 parameters. 1, 2, 3. They are my 3 parameters. The first parameter, I'm going to put down input. And the second parameter is going to be the message, where I say enter the number. And the third parameter for now can just be left blank. So here, by having the input box inside of the loop, it will now mean that this statement will execute 5 times. But if I leave the statement as it is, it means each time a number is going to be input, it means the previous number is going to be lost. So the first time when I is 1, we will input a number which will be stored in the variable num. But when the loop goes back up and I becomes 2, we're going to input a second number. And that second number is going to be stored back in num, meaning it's going to erase the first number that was stored in num. So as a result, we need to accumulate. We need to accumulate the numbers before they get lost. And as I explained previously, because we're using an accumulator, it needs to be initialized. Here we are. And I need to declare the variable sum. So in this instance, I've got a loop running from 1 to 5 because I want 5 numbers. It's going to execute these statements 5 times. It inputs the number. After getting the number, it accumulates the number immediately. The same number that we've input has now been accumulated. It goes back up, it inputs a second number, and then it accumulates that second number. So while the input takes place, immediately thereafter, the value is accumulated. Now, if I want to output, I'm going to say read out dot lines dot add a message to say the sum is, and then to print the sum with a conversion int to string. There we are, like that. Let's give this a try and let's see how this would work. I click on sum numbers, 5 input numbers. There we are. This is my input box requiring my first number. Let's type in 1. Click on OK. Second number, remember the loop is executing a second time. 2. It's executing the third time. 3. I'm then going to go 4. And then I'm going to go 5. I expect it to stop because now the loop would come to an end. at which case it stops and it says the sum is 15. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 does give you 15. I could modify the question a little and also ask you to find the average, in which case, remember, average is dividing by the total only after you've completed the sum. So if you need to find average, remember, you're not going to find the average inside the loop, because whilst I'm inside the loop, I'm getting the number and I'm still summing it up. I will then find the average outside the loop at this point, and then I could display it. So this is how you would use a for loop to input numbers, and you can sum up the numbers. I hope this video helps you. Till the next video, bye.